You're mentally ill and you need help. It's something I hear way too often from people who don't like trans people and look like they've never seen the inside of a therapist's office. Truth is, since I was in my 20s, in the 80s, I've been in therapy, short-term therapy, 5 times. For your information, not one of them ever said I was mentally ill or recommended any medication that I didn't ask for. Every time I put myself in therapy was because I was dealing with something I needed to learn how to deal with better. Each therapist was very different than the one before, and each of them taught me something that I could walk away with, like a one-liner that summed up the whole experience in therapy. I'll share those one-lines with you and hope that they help you too. My first therapist and I really got into the nitty-gritty of it. At the end of our 2 years together, he said to me, there are some things in life you have to learn to live with dignity. I took that to mean that not everything can be fixed. Not everything can be completely healed. The next one was called Max. And when I went to go see Max, I was in full crisis. As my transition progressed, my clients started to disappear, and that freaked me out. I also had a boyfriend who was straight, and I was the only trans person he was ever with. And he made it his lot in life to police my womanhood. He told me that you can be too open and honest. He told me that there's such a thing as public information and private information, and the private information can be shared, but should be shared very carefully. Most importantly, very strategically. When the heavy lifting of my transition was done, and I thought I was looking pretty decent, I became obsessed with what people knew. Did they know? Didn't they know? It was constantly on my mind. Up until then, when I needed something done, I got a man to do it for me. She taught me something that really helped me a lot. Nobody passes 100% of the time. Assuming that you don't pass lessens the pressure of having to pass. She was a large woman with a really bad haircut, and her hair was bright red. In one of our conversations about how stuff gets done if a man doesn't do it for you, she asked me, how do you think somebody as unattractive as me gets things done? Which I responded something like, exactly, tell me how you do it. So rude. So awful. She informed me that a lot of women, rather than use their feminine wiles to get things done, pay for it. I know that doesn't sound very groundbreaking, but it was groundbreaking to me. The only thing I had to do to get my air conditioner installed that year was hand out $50. Then, years later, after being essayed on the street right in front of a police station in Brooklyn and feeling old, I went to go see Mimi. There were times when I would be telling her one of my stories and I'd look up at her and she'd be crying. And I didn't know how to feel about that. At the end of our time together, she told me I was the most resilient person she's ever met in her life, and that my resilience was something I could depend on. It was either 2016, 2017 that I went to another therapist, a young queer therapist who specialized in trauma. They were so talented, and we worked on a bunch of different modalities together. Amazing experience. At the end of our time together, they said, you think that you can heal your family dynamics from childhood. What if you can't? They said, your family isn't good for you. They've never been good for you. Sometimes, in situations like yours, it's best just to leave the past in the past. It's incredibly difficult to heal in the environment that hurt you, but you will with those gems.